The top 10 ridiculous conspiracy theories. Number 10. The Earth is flat. Flat Earth theory first emerged in the 19th century England, despite the Earth's spherical nature having been known since at least the time of Pythagoras. It has in recent years been promoted by American software consultant Mark Sargent through the use of YouTube videos. Flat Earth conspiracy theorists hold that planet Earth is not a sphere and that evidence has been faked or suppressed to hide the fact that it is instead a disk or a single infinite plane. This conspiracy often implicates NASA. Other claims include that GPS devices are rigged to make aircraft pilots somehow wrongly believe that they are flying around a globe. Number 9. The moon is hollow. The hollow moon hypothesis, or spaceship moon hypothesis, proposes that Earth's moon is either wholly hollow or otherwise contains some substantial interior space. This theory often pairs with ridiculous conspiracies that the moon is an alien spacecraft used to watch Earth. No scientific evidence exists to support the idea. Seismic observation and other data collected since spacecraft began to orbit or land on the moon indicate that it has a thin crust, extensive mantle, and small dense core, although overall it is much less dense than Earth. Number 8. Redheads are descended from aliens. Redheads have always been mysterious, especially since they're genetically different. Don't believe us? Besides their distinctive hair color, gingers don't have the same tolerance to pain as their less fiery-haired counterparts. They're also more susceptible to certain diseases, and believe it or not, are more likely to hate the dentist than the rest of us. Those are all true and proven science facts. But some people explain these differences using some interesting logic. If redheads are so different, it's clearly because they're creatures from another world rejected by aliens and sent to planet Earth thousands of years ago. Number 7. The moon doesn't exist. An evening is not complete without a little moonlight. But don't be fooled by the shining orb in the sky. The moon doesn't actually exist. That round thing up there is actually just a hologram projected every night by unknown people for unknown reasons. Although this theory is decidedly vague, it's very popular among its supporters. Famous conspiracy theorist David Icke approves of it, insisting that its moon's dimensions and weight are misleading. What's more, Icke even believes it's something more extraordinary than a hologram-like spacecraft. Number 6. Space Nazis. Hey, it wouldn't be a conspiracy without aliens or Nazis for that matter. There are many theories involving the Third Reich, but this one is undoubtedly the most bizarre. It's believed that in 1942, the Nazis constructed spacecraft and traveled to the moon where they built a military base and met with aliens. Fortunately, the United States saved the day and was able to stop yet another potential intergalactic invasion. You know, as they did in Iraq 60 years later, to disarm it, and to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger. So where are these infamous spacecraft today? Hidden in Antarctica, of course. Number 5. The Earth is hollow. Forget everything you learned in geology class. The Earth is not a ball of molten rock, it's just empty. To access the center of the Earth, you can use one of the two portals, each of which is situated on one of the poles. So what's happening with all that free real estate in there? There are colonies descended from Vikings and, of course, Nazis living inside the Earth who we'd been mistaking for extraterrestrials for years. Hey, wouldn't they actually be intraterrestrials? Anyways, this theory is very controversial, especially due to the popular Flat Earth Society, the members of which are trying to prove the Earth is not round nor empty, but in fact, flat. Number 4. Dinosaurs built the pyramids of Egypt. For the most part, creationists accept that dinosaurs once existed, but their story differs from the one told that was part of the evolutionary theory. Creationists believe that dinosaurs actually coexisted with humans, and that they were even one of the creatures on Noah's Ark. Some even go as far as suggesting that dinosaurs are mentioned in the Old Testament. In fact, these dinosaurs, which he calls dinosaurs, helped the Egyptians build the Great Pyramids. I mean, how else could you possibly explain how the pyramids were built? Aliens? Huh. Number 3. The Large Hadron Collider was built to summon an Egyptian god. According to some particularly imaginative theorists, the most powerful particle accelerator in the world was built for a very specific reason: to revive the ancient Egyptian god of afterlife, death, life, and resurrection, Osiris. Believers suggest that there are many similarities between the CERN accelerator and Ptah, where an ancient Egyptian object, also called the Osiris device. In fact, they think the LHC was built based on ancient technology. Supposedly, the Tatawera allows you to travel between dimensions and through wormholes that Osiris used to journey through the underworld, and the LHC does the same. The proof being the statue of Hindu deity Shiva on the CERN grounds, though we're still not sure how this exactly proves it. Number 2. Lizard people are running the world. It's been reported that in the United States of America, approximately 12 million people believe that the government, and in fact the world, is run by reptilians. What is a reptilian, you may ask? These creatures are bloodthirsty humanoids able to change their appearance and apparently control the world. According, once again, to the theorist David Icke, reptilians are the biggest threat facing society today. And who are these reptilians, you may ask? The Clintons, the Bush family, and even Queen Elizabeth II. But how can you recognize a reptilian? By looking into their eyes. And finally, number 1, the moon landing hoax. We all know that on July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first person to step onto the lunar surface. But some people think that the moon landing was fake. In 2001, Fox Television aired the program Conspiracy Theory: Did We Land on the Moon?, which rehashed many discredited discrepancies between the official version of the moon landing and photographs of the landing. Curiously, they never explained why NASA would distribute photographs that would prove that they had faked the moon landing. Of course, even if there was some credible evidence showing that the 1969 Apollo moon landing was a hoax, conspiracy theorists must also account for later moon missions, involving a dozen astronauts. And of course, there's the issue of the hundreds of pounds of moon rocks that have been studied around the world and verified of extraterrestrial origin. How did NASA get these rocks if not during a moon landing? Many astronauts have been offended by the implication that they somehow faked their accomplishments. In fact, in 2002, conspiracy theorist Bart Sibrel confronted Buzz Aldrin, a former astronaut, and called him a coward and a liar for faking the moon landings. The 72-year-old astronaut then punched him in the jaw. And of course, let us not forget that the Americans and the Russians, or at the time the USSR, were in direct competition of each other for their space programs. This means that if the Russians found out the Americans were faking it, which they could prove this, they would not hesitate to embarrass the nation across the world. So this was about some of the most popular and absurd conspiracy theories that we could find. Now let's talk about the top 10 most accurate science fiction movies which you must watch. Well, actually, that sounds like something we should talk about on a different episode of Discover Zen.